Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to live Q&A here on the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel, your host, and I'm answering questions. Live Q&As are going to change a little bit in 2022. I'm still going to be doing them, but something is going to change, and that something will be announced over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But I'll still be doing the Q&As, so if you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. Realize I don't answer everything. Repeating a question doesn't make me answer it. And some things I've answered in past times, so I don't answer them all the time. I will say, though, there's a contest. Game Nerds, that's with a Z, a great online game store. You can get a $10 gift certificate from them. All you need to do to enter this contest is to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word cyber, C-Y-B-E-R, since today is Cyber Monday. And we'll pick a random winner to get that. Congratulations ahead of time. And thanks to Game Nerds for doing this. Probably a lot of people are shopping on the internet today. Or is it just me? Is it just me who finds Cyber Monday a bit overwhelming at this point? It used to be I would go, hey, let's shop on Cyber Monday. Now it's, I got, hundreds of emails, it seems, about Cyber Monday from every place. Everyone has some sort of sale, and it's like, oh, it's confusing, and you know what, I don't need anything anyway. That's where I'm at. So we'll see. Let's see where we're at. Questions. Favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Pumpkin pie, pecan pie, or other? Other, of course. I think pumpkin pie is okay. And I think pecan pie, I don't like it. This year at Thanksgiving, though, we had key lime pie, first of all. We had watermelon key lime pie with chocolate chips in it. We had caramel apple key lime pie. There was a eggnog key lime pie, and there was one other key lime pie. What did I get? Oh, a mint chocolate key lime pie. Then we had normal pies. We had a passion fruit pie. We had some pumpkin pies for people who like that. We had a Dutch apple pie, which is really the only way to eat apple pie, except I got a caramel apple pie. I didn't know that existed before, so that was pretty delicious. And Camilla brought in some sort of dip, cake batter dip thing, which was amazing. And we also had some tarts. Oh, I love tarts. Tarts are delicious. Yeah, anyway. Do I own more hats or more? Excuse me. I knew that sneeze was coming too. Do you own more hats or more ties? Obviously more ties. Ties are cheaper and easier to store than hats. Let's see. Any chance you'd put out a Brussels sprouts cooking book? No. I do like Brussels sprouts, though, and I made them. They were not top-notch this year. It was not the best dish I made, although they were fine. They were good. I just have made them better in the past. I'm gonna add a little bit of. I have some thoughts on how I can make them better next year. Actually, I think one of the best things I made this year was the corn, although the cranberry sauce was on point. Oh, cranberry sauce is so good. Oh, and my ham. I really did a good job on the ham. That sounds very braggadocious, but I apologize. Someone from Canada came to visit us and brought us a jar of real maple syrup, and I used that on the ham. That was very good. Oh, man. All right, so this is really annoying. Tattoo update. I'm going to catch you up on this because the whole tattoo thing I find very disheartening in a sense. So we found, Roy is very particular about who he gets a tattoo of. I don't know anything about it, so I put that in his hands. And Roy went around looking, found somebody who was willing to come here, live stream us tattooing, very exciting. We set the whole thing up, and then the guy flaked out on us and then kind of was like, I don't know if I want to do it anymore, and then disappeared. Yay! But we had all that planned, we were ready to stream it, and nothing even happened. So I don't know where to go from there except to hunt down somebody else. So, but that's going to be a process. So I'm sorry that wasn't done like it was supposed to be. It's kind of a pain in the neck. And I was ready to do it, and of course no one's going to believe us because everyone's like, oh, they chickened out. I promise you we didn't chicken out, but so it's like starting back from square one. But we'll let you know as we get it done. Am I excited about my wife's Christmas gift? I guess. I don't know. Do you mean the one she got for me or the one I'm getting for her? I don't know what that means. No. I don't get excited about gifts. That was like a kid thing. I guess if someone gets me a gift that's very nice and I appreciate it, I don't get excited about them, mostly because I don't expect them. So if I get something, I'm like, ooh, that's neat. For newer Dice Tower followers, can you explain what the Chief Socahtoa references are? They always sound so... Well, it seemed like you got... Chief Socahtoa is a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, possibly my best friend. Well, I mean, it depends what dimension we're in, but he and I used to work together. We were part of a time travel... It's not really a secret. I mean, I'm obviously talking about it, but the reason I can talk about this so freely is because most people don't know what we're talking about half the time, and therefore there's really no intelligence break there. Besides, most of what I say would have to be run through the Ramuthian code and then translated up 4 times, transcribing it through the treble clef balagama and then backwards through a pig Latin, which is actually a real thing. Americans use it as something funny. Code into the vortex dimension. It's just not going to happen. So we did a lot of things together back in the day, and it's funny because I say back in the day, but it actually hasn't happened yet. It's very confusing. But yeah, so sometimes people ask me questions about that, and I give bits and tidbits. It would take me centuries to go through all the different things we've done. Outside of yourself, who in your family likes pie the most? I don't know. All the kids seem to like it, so I don't know that anyone likes it more than anyone else. My family's pumpkin pie recipe won the blue ribbon at the Wisconsin State Fair. Congratulations. Oh, here's the thing. Fantastical but never makes sense, but explained so seriously. Well, I mean, it is a serious thing. I mean, Chief Socahtoa's wife. It's very sad. Anyway, as someone who's released his own game, do you have any advice for the first timer showing prototypes for the first time at Dice Tower West Prototype Con? I do, but that's not as someone who released their own game. I cheated when I released my own game. I made a video about it, put it on the Dice Tower channel, and then people saw that and talked to me about it. So this is what I would recommend. Have your game there. Be ready to give people a 1-minute pitch. I'm not kidding. You need to be able to describe your game quickly and easily to people. Show it off a little bit, but be ready to show just parts of it. Do not compare it to other games. Do not say this is kind of like Ticket to Ride, but no. Just explain what it is. Come in very quickly. If people aren't interested, no problem. Go to the next person. And you want to have a fast, quick, easy pitch for people coming by. There's nothing that throws me off when I go and see someone who shows me a prototype and they launch into a 15-minute spiel. I don't want to spend 15 minutes listening to a game that I might not be interested in. This goes to anyone demoing any game, frankly. When's the review for Arnak expansion coming out? We're playing the Arnak expansion live during the Spectacular, so we'll probably review it the week after that, maybe. Any chance I'll be returning to Midgard? Well, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. I would love to. I really like going there. My favorite area in mathematics to teach? Not even a question. Statistics and probability. By far. Well, that and logic. I like teaching logic. And statistics and mathematics, those are my favorite things. By far. When will Trey Parker come to the Dice Tower? Well, we're still working that out. He's a very busy person. So when I know, you'll know. Do you have 2 separate Thanksgivings? One for the family, one for the Dice Tower crew? Well, my family one and the Dice Tower crew one's combined because they're family. and I did one with my in-laws on Friday. Have I announced what the theme is for next year's Kickstarter yet? No, I haven't. But I'll probably drop hints soon. The one you're getting for her, shopping for my wife, is very fun. I don't find it as fun. I like getting things for my wife when I see them, and then when it comes to Christmas, I've already gotten her, you know, the things I've wanted. Oh, you know, I get her stuff outside that. So I don't know. It's not as exciting, but we're going on a trip for Christmas, so there's that. That I'm excited about. After seeing reports from the Dice Tower retreat I really want to attend, can you give any information about the next retreat? The next retreat will be in Miami this coming September. I actually have exact dates. We'll announce that on Thursday. The contract's signed. It's ready to go. We're not opening up registration for it yet because, well, we have registration for Dice Tower East, Dice Tower West, etc. We'll open up registration later, but I'm just letting you know about it. I'll be reviewing Brian Boru this week, actually. We're heading to Iceland for New Year's. Ooh, it's going to be cold there. What do you recommend seeing and eating? I don't know about eating. But seeing, oh my word, anything. It's all amazing. It's all amazing. Best party game you played over Thanksgiving weekend? Well, I think we've gone now 8 straight years without playing a game on Thanksgiving. We just sit around and talk. No game. Well, I think I saw Roy played Rhino Hero with his kids, and I think Oni Tom or something. But I didn't play any games. It's almost like my unofficial tradition now. I get to play games all the time. I played Role Player Adventures with my kids over the weekend. Twice, actually. And we're actually reviewing that tomorrow. But I didn't play any party games. Stuffing or dressing? Well, dressing. No one really. I mean, it's kind of a bad naming when people say stuffing because very few people actually stuff it in a turkey. First of all, you can't fit a lot of stuffing into a turkey unless you get a really huge one. And yes, the stuffing adds juices to the turkey adds juices to the stuffing, blah, blah, blah. But it's dressing. But no one calls it dressing because then no one would know what you're talking about. So we just say stuffing. But yes, technically I make dressing. Do you know the numbers of viewers from outside the USA? Curious to know which countries watch a Dice Tower the most. Off the top of my head, it's been a while since I've looked at those numbers, although I bet I could find them now. Let me see if I can pull that up. So I have to go to my YouTube Creators Studio, and we'll go to Analytics, and we'll go to Audience, and my audience, the number one channel my audience watches, the top 2 channels are Shut and Sit Down and Watch It Played. Big shocker there. It's interesting. I didn't realize it showed you other videos that your audience watches. Anywho, let's see here. There we go. Top geographies. So number 1, 40%, which is less than I thought. I thought it'd be like 50%. 40%, 40.7 is the US. Then number 2, barely number 2, it's 7.9% is Canada. Number 3, 7.5%, the UK. Then number 3, Germany. 3.6. Then Australia. I would have thought Australia beat Germany at 3%. The Netherlands, this one does not surprise me, at 2.7%. Sweden, 1.8. Poland, 1.6. Belgium, 1.5. France, 1.2. Spain, 1.2. Hungary, 1.2. Brazil, finally leaving Europe, at 1. Italy, back in Europe at 1. Back out of Europe, Mexico at 1. Denmark at 1. And then these are all less than 1%, but they're still something, right? We have Finland, Romania, Greece, Singapore, Portugal, Czechia, New Zealand, India, Philippines, Russia, Norway, Israel, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Indonesia, Austria, Thailand, South Africa. Let's see what the lowest one on the list is. At 0.2%. This is number 50, is Latvia. Now, let's see who watches us the longest average view. That would be Barbados. They watch me an average of 10 minutes, but only 25 views. All right, so let's go with... So the United States watches me the longest at 9 minutes and 33 seconds average. But Sweden is next, 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Then Finland, then Ireland, then Denmark, UK, New Zealand. That's funny. I wonder who has the lowest one. Like, what country turns me off the fastest? That actually sounds weird to say it that way. I don't know that I can't sort it by smallest. All right, it only goes to 50. So 50 is Romania. Romania turns me off after 5 minutes and 47 seconds. All right. Anyway, that was probably more information than you wanted to hear. Can you release a tease about the Kickstarter? Possibly. I'll do that during the Winter Spectacular. I'm still putting a lot. How excited are you for the new Spider-Man movie? Very excited. Which Spider-Man actor is your favorite? Oh, Tom Holland. Hopefully we'll be seeing them all. Who knows? Good idea, bad idea. Ticket to ride Polar Express edition? Bad idea? It's just one train. Do all the trains go to North Pole? It'll be a bad idea. Do you have any gaming-related Christmas and New Year's traditions? I don't game on Christmas normally. Christmas I just spend with the family. We might play some games, some party games. New Year's I always bring a small party games, but I always run a game show on New Year's Eve at my church. No, I've never had British Christmas Dune Imperium as much. If it didn't use the Dune IP and would have just come up with a new space setting. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I think so. I really liked the game. It could have been about anything. I think I would have enjoyed it. Coin capsules or Etsy replacement tokens for drawing out of a bag. I think I would pull... I don't know. Stuffing is my favorite part of Thanksgiving, says Vanessa. But you know what? It's not everyone's favorite thing. It's always the least touched dish. Chris Yee came in and was like, I will eat a lot of it. And I guess he did, but he was about it. Some people ate stuffing, but most people ate other things. The two things that went the fastest were the sweet potato garbage that my wife made. And I say that with love because she's a wonderful person, but sweet potato, blah. And the mac and cheese that I made. I made some custom mac and cheese, which I was very happy about, actually. It came out pretty good. And the kids, of course, there were kids there. We had like 10 kids or something, so that was gone. Is there any Kickstarter girlfriend you can't wait for? Oh, Game Found. You can't wait for. No. That's a simple answer. Speaking of girlfriend, I talked to my wife last night as she was falling asleep, and I asked her if the next time we went places, if it would be okay if I introduced her as my former girlfriend. But she didn't seem keen on that. I said, what about if I introduce you as my former fiance? She didn't like that. I said, what about if you were my current? Okay, well, anyway. It was a conversation that went nowhere. What is my favorite Greek letter? I don't know. Delta? I like triangles. Caught up on the Wheel of Time. Yeah, I watched the 4th episode yesterday. How am I feeling about the changes from the books? Is it jumping?
Yeah.
I'm on Dice Tower.
Go to upload because you're closer to that one.
All right, folks, we're going to time thing. Like, a lot. I knew they were going to do it. And in some ways, I think you should make changes from the book. There needs to be economy of characters. There's no way on earth they're going to include every character in Wheel of Time. I'm just going to have to wait. I have some reservations about Wheel of Time. And I think part of Wheel of Time, I'm wondering if Wheel of Time's back lore is interesting and not the characters. And I say that because, so the Wheel of Time has a lot of interesting things in it, like the one power and the fact that men go mad when they use it and women don't, so therefore women gentle the men who do. And that's like a very interesting thing. But are the characters themselves interesting? Because if you read Robert Jordan's work, he writes almost all his characters the same. There's not a lot of difference between them. They even have the same thoughts. You can superimpose one person's thoughts on another, which makes it when he has a character who's different, like let's say Varen, a brown Aes Sedai, she's differently written than the other characters, so you like that, because she feels different. And you could argue with me, I guess, but frankly, I feel like Robert Jordan writes a lot of his characters the same. So they're not going to do that in a TV show. They're not going to make them all the same. So then they're going to be different. And I was thinking about this today. So Wheel of Time, and I'm not like, everyone should watch Wheel of Time. One of my favorite series is coming to life. I don't know, right? But I was comparing it to Game of Thrones because you just do. And Game of Thrones has catchphrases. Winter is coming. Hodor. Nothing. I'm not seeing that in Wheel of Time. I'm not seeing a moment in Wheel of Time that everyone's going to be talking about. Now, the battle scenes are really well done. They do a cool job showing the one power. I figured it would be hard for them to show it, so they're drawing squiggly lines or whatever, and that's fine. I mean, it works. But, it's really cool. I like watching the battle scenes. The characters seem I shouldn't say really well cast, but decently well cast. Moraine is perfect. I like Lan's casting. Tom seems cast pretty well. In fact, Peyton Fane, who he was only in episode 1 so far, I think, seems really well cast too. I like them. The main characters, I'm okay on them. Again, maybe this will open up more, but if I want to watch a show, I don't want to see just cool action sequences, which are cool, and I don't want to see a cool backstory. I want to see characters that are kind of gripping and interesting, catchphrases, things that you remember, and music that's memorable. The music isn't very memorable either. Can you hum the song? But I can go ba 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 ba. We know that theme song, so I don't know. We'll see. Now, at the same time, there's not gratuitousness in this one. I'm not having to watch through reams of torture and see every character you ever liked die. So there's that too. It's not like I think Game of Thrones is the best thing ever. I don't. But I don't know. We'll see. I suspect we may not see a second season of it, but we'll see. Maybe Amazon Prime will get enough fans of it. What was the best part of living in Korea? The Korea. 8 to 9 years ago, there were reviews done by the chief. Is this the same chief you talk about from time to time? No. That's Bart the chief. He did reviews. He still has a YouTube channel. I think he reviews board games on it still, and also reviews whiskey or rum or something like that. No, this is Chief Socahtoa we were talking about. Very different people. Are the Dice Tower clear component? Will we get a Merchants of the Dark Road review soon? I suspect we'll see that review again post-Winter Spectacular. We're playing it live in the Winter Spectacular. What is it that places Le Havre higher than Aura and Labor in your top list? Aura and Labor is not even in my top 100, man. I think Aura and Labor is a fine game, but I just like Le Havre better. But I'm not going to go into major details about comparing them. That's like a whole video of content. Documentary from Peter Jackson. Dice Tower NFT. I won't say no, because I'm cautious not to say no on anything, because I might get beat down on that. But there are no plans. Just read a whole bunch of comments about it skipping, so I'm catching up here. I need to introduce Laura as my first wife. That might go over poorly. Alrighty. How long after Thanksgiving do you want ham and or turkey again? Well, I didn't eat as big of a meal as everybody else did on Thanksgiving because I had been busy cooking it. So I went home that night and ate some ham and rice and cheese. And then the next day, I ate turkey at my in-laws. And then I went home and ate some more ham. And then Saturday, I had some more. And then Sunday, did I have? No, I didn't eat any ham or turkey yesterday. But maybe I will today. We'll see. I love the ham and turkey. I could eat it all the time. What do I do about expansion boxes in the personal collection and the Dice Tower collection? In my personal collection, I just combine it all into one box. In the Dice Tower, I combine a few if I think it's worth putting in, but for the most part, I keep them separate or they're not even in the Dice Tower library. People don't. Any thoughts on the recent-ish X-Men reboot? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about them going to Krakoa? Because they're still on Krakoa as far as I know. I didn't know there was a reboot. I just read a comic about something, but I don't remember it being a reboot. The best Geek Bit set is Quacks of Quedlinburg. It just really is. I did not know. Well, I guess I did know there was an Annihilation expansion coming from Marvel Legendary. It's been a long time since I played Marvel Legendary or games that get wrecked during Dice Tower conventions. It happens. It happens. What game in the library do you think would be the hardest to replace? Nah, I'm going to leave that one. This year was my first time going to a board game convention, and I was surprised at how hard it was to find upgrade components. You mean to buy them? Or that they're in the library? Because in the library, they're expensive. That's why they're not in most libraries. To buy them, yeah, I'm surprised that they're sold more at conventions, because it seems like a good place to do it. My Marvel Legendary starter cards are all worn. Should I sleeve it or replace the base game? That's a good question. I don't know. Sleeving it's tough. I sleeved Marvel Legendary once and got so annoying I unsleeved it. But if you play it all the time, sometimes it's worth getting a new set for that purpose. What are your favorite Marvel United characters from the X-Men base box? I'm just going to wait on this one. When Marvel United comes out, the X-Men, all the rest of the stuff, I'll go through and rate all of them then. Wheel Time Season 2 is already in production. Well, there you go. Well, I should know that. They schedule seasons much faster now. So we'll see if they schedule Season 3, I guess. I don't know what the problem is with the lag. I'm shutting everything else on my computer down, so that's not the problem. Doobadoo. I got everything shut down.
It's pretty rough. Roy's thinking it might be a rebooting your components. Just call it. Well, I'll keep an eye on it.
All right, I'm back. I hope. Tell me real quick. I'm going to zoom all the way to the bottom of the comments and tell me if you can see. It's saying that the internet quality is not fast enough. Just checking. Dabba-dabba-dum. Dabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-dum. Bum-ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Ba-ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum. I was waiting to see if people are seeing me now. All right, so it's better so far. All right, let's go back up to questions. Where was I at? Will there be a room at Dice Tower East where all gamers would be required to wear a mask? There's no way on earth I can know that information right now. Dice Tower East is in July. So July is like, what, 8 months away at this point in time, so there's no way we'll know what life will be like then. We'll follow the guidelines where we're at, and then I'm going to use common sense other than that. And we're just going to have to wait and see. So, but let's say you were asking me about right now. Let's say we had it today here. That I would say no, there would not be such a room. That you could wear a mask or you could not wear a mask. That's what we just did at the retreat. And we would ask that you just not get in the face of other people who did the opposite of you. But other than that, I don't know because it's July of next year. All right. Now, if there's any questions that I answered and they got messed up in the buffering, feel free to re-ask them. And I'll try to do them again. Oh, you're answering my bin question, but the answer was part of the skip. There's one of them. I'm saying that we'll have them as part of our Kickstarter. Let's see here. Do I like Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune more? Jeopardy. Wheel of Fortune, I just don't like the wheel. I mean, I think the wheel is cool, but it just, I don't know. Also, I'm not as good at Wheel of Fortune, so maybe there's that. They're not rebooting X-Men. They're continuing the series. That's what I thought. Oh, you meant the 219 where they all moved to Krakoa? I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't like the fact that everyone moved to Krakoa. All the bad guys are now good guys, sort of, because that's all they ever wanted was to be a mutant. I really don't like it. I don't find it. I mean, it would have been interesting had it been a limited series, but it seems to be a permanent thing. The way that the mutants treat the rest of the world, and I just don't like it. I just don't find it interesting at all. Do people say I look more like my father or mother? I was told I look more similar to my mother. Let's see here. Trying to catch up to questions. I have not played Kingdom Death yet. We're going to have to set aside a day for that to happen. What's my favorite Christmas holiday song to sing along to? Oh, most of them. I like singing the Christmas songs. Let's see here. Will the Dice Tower have a white elf and her Secret Santa gift exchange? Maybe part of the spectacular? No to the second half. Not part of the spectacular. We've done one in the past, so we'll see. Who edits all the clips from the vlogs the Dice Tower makes? Chris has been doing that right now. Loopy hasn't reminded me of the contest because I mentioned it at the very, very beginning. Have you ever gotten a custom playmat made for a board game? Many times. We have many of them in the library. Let's see here. Favorite Christmas Carol adaptation? The Bing Crosby Sting Drummer Boy, because I don't like the original song, but I thought their adaptation was very well done. With all the new games coming out, do you get the chance to play older games too? Yes! See, Loopy, that's why you don't listen to people in chat. All right, well, I caught up on questions, so I'm done, right? Come on. Okay, so anyway, if there was questions that happened during the skipping part, the part where I lost 50 viewers, go ahead and ask them now, and I'll try to re-answer them. After the Spectacular, will we get another Play It Live week before the year is out? Likely not. We'll see what happens after the Spectacular. The week after the Spectacular, the Dice Tower is going completely dark because we are taking a Christmas vacation. The Dice Tower does not shut down. If I can brag a little bit, the Dice Tower has more consistent content than every other YouTube channel, board gaming YouTube channel. All of them. And I don't mean that to put down the other board game YouTube channels. That's fine. That could be actually a problem with me. And so we are straight up shutting down that week. After we're taking a vacation. No, I don't need to say anything more than that. We're taking a vacation. We need to. We need to take vacations once in a while here at Dice Tower. We want to do our best, and believe you me, I work really hard at putting out as much content as we possibly can. But we're taking a vacation for that week. Let's see here. Oh, David Bowie, not Sting. You're right. I don't know why I said Sting. Sorry. Have you ever upgraded a game just to find something even better? Oh, yes. If so, what do you do? I get the better stuff and then give the upgraded components to somebody else. It's like giving your second best laptop to somebody else. I have not read the second book even of Sanderson's Skyward series, and I know the third book just released. I don't know why. My daughter's read it. She said it's good. I just haven't got to that book yet. You, Mike, and Z, who would win in arm wrestling? Oh, definitely not me. Have you played all the Board Game Geek Top 100 games? No, but I played most of them. I don't have any real strong thoughts on the pyramids in Egypt and what was their purpose, other than I think that they were built as tombs. But I don't have any real strong feelings on them. Any update on the Autumn Spectacular contest? I'm pretty sure the winners of those were all sent out to the people who won them. I don't handle the contest. Amy handles those, but I'll check with her, I guess. But I'm assuming if you didn't hear, then you didn't win. Do you have a favorite Christmas tie? Probably. I'd have to look at all my Christmas ties and see. Are you ever bored of playing board games? Sometimes I get bored of playing board games, so I eat a meal or something, and then I can play more. For those just tuning in, I talk about the tattoo thing here at the beginning of the episode. What are your opinions on hype in the board gaming hobby? Do you feel there's more or less hype than a few years ago? There's definitely more hype, and the hype is just insane at this point. I am just mind-boggled. There's this pre-hype. Like, people get excited about a game now before Kickstarter. Like, I can't tell you the number of people who asked me at Dice Tower Retreat, like, do you have Weather Machine? I'm like, why would I have Weather Machine? It's not even on Kickstarter yet. Also, there's like 2,000 amazing games here. It's crazy to me how excited people are about things that come out. Then I get some of these Kickstarters that people went bonkers over, and no one pulls them off the shelf in the library because it's an old thing. So yeah, hype is hype, whatever. We're part of the hype too, of course. We get excited about stuff coming out, but that's why I'm excited about the Winter Spectacular, because we get to talk about the best of 2021, and we'll tell you the best games. No hype, just our favorite games. Someone asked us last week, and I had no idea what they were talking about, the Arcane series. I now realize this is a Netflix series. I have not watched it. I might watch it. I don't know. That's the answer to that. Let's see here. After you play your last game for the day and you didn't like it, do you play a great game to end your day instead of dwelling on that bad game? Sometimes, if it's really bad, I'll be like, let's quick play a good game. But it's not that big of a deal. I'm telling you, folks, maybe this is just me, but I can play the worst game on earth, my least favorite game ever, and I sleep soundly that night. Who cares? It was a game. Yeah, it's a bad game. but I don't lose sleep over that. I don't lose sleep if I've seen a bad movie or had bad dinner. Well, maybe a bad dinner, but not a, you know what I mean? It's just a game. I lose sleep over things that, you know, even though I shouldn't worry about stuff, but sometimes you worry about things. But a bad game, it was a bad game. We laugh about it and move on. The only time it might bother me, where I would, you know, I like play a good game, is if I'm playing with someone who's never played games before and they play this terrible game. I'll be like, all right, that is not going to be your first impression of gaming. Here's a better game. But that's about it. Well, lots of people are saying they won games at the Autumn Spectacular here in the comments, so that's good. Hype is good for the industry. Who's it good for, though? Like, who is... Hype is not... I'll disagree on that. I don't think hype's good for the industry. Because what it means is publishers have to hype up their game, immediately sell it, and move on to the next game. That's not good. That's not sustainable. Sustainable is making a good game and then selling it for a long period of time. That's what's good. Hype also is not good for the industry when people all hype up this game, everyone plays it and goes, well, wasn't that great? Not every game can be the greatest game of all time. It's just not possible. And yet that's what I see. Go read the quotes on Kickstarter pages. They'll be like, this is one of the best games I played this year. No kidding! It's one of the games you played this year. So therefore it is one of the best games. That's almost a cheating quote. And that's very, I don't know. Don't look at any of that stuff, folks. Wait till the end of the year and see what people say is the best then. And then look and see if their best of the year includes games that they just played mostly, or if they're games that came out throughout the whole course of the year. Now, I say that with me having a recent game is going to be in my top 10 of the year for sure. And that happens. But if you hype every game, then how do I know when you're really hyped? I have a friend who gets excited about everything new, and he's like, woo, woo, that's great. I'm glad. You know, I appreciate it. I'd rather hang out with someone like that than someone who sits there and goes, whatever. But when I want to know if a movie's good, I don't ask the hype friend. He's more fun to hang out with, but he's not useful to me. Hype is not good for the industry. I really disagree with that statement. All right. Let's see, where are we with questions? Sorry, I got all like in my preaching mode. Arcane is in the League of Legends universe? Yes, it is. Do you lose sleep after a scary horror movie? I might, but I don't watch them. I hate it. It's not that I lose sleep, but I'll probably jump the next time I walk in a dark room by myself. I haven't planned out the top 100 in January yet, so I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do that. Have you played any RTS video games lately? I don't think so. I haven't played one in a while. Is there any even for the Mac? I don't know. I haven't played one in ages. Have you ever spent money on a game which you regret paying for? Oh, all the time. I back a decent amount of Kickstarters, and there's a lot of them I go, that wasn't worth it. Mike says the hype I refer to is the enthusiasm that people who buy games have for new games. If we are an industry of the customers that aren't hyped, I don't know though. I mean, again, I think, yes, obviously hype is good in that regard, but I think there's too much hype now. It's too hard to separate what's exactly excited or not. I've actually stopped watching or reading some channels or things because I just can't figure out what they're not excited about. When you're excited about everything, again, that makes you an amazing friend. I like going to watch a movie with you because you're going to be excited about it. I have two daughters who you may have seen me do reviews with. One is definitely everything is fantastic. The other is whatever. And they balance me out. But in reality, I'm more interested in when Simon Cowell says a singer's good, I'm like, wow, that singer must be good. But when, you know, someone who says all the singers are good, I'm like, man, I don't know. You said they were all good. How to settle a dispute over vague rules in a game. If you can't find an internet, then we just go with what the majority of people agree on. If you cannot decide, you roll a die And if that still causes a fight, then stop playing with one of those people, because it's not that big of a deal. Well, okay, let me jump in this. Courtney says, don't like hype. I personally don't think you really know a game till you played it 10 times. I also very much disagree with that. You just made up an arbitrary number there, first of all, by saying 10 times. And I don't have to play Candyland 10 times to know the game. In fact, I don't even have to play it one time to know that game. I can read the rules and tell you how Candyland is going to play. There's a lot of games. I don't sit there and go, this flicking game on the 6th play showed me some depth I didn't notice on play 3. That's just not going to happen. There's a difference between, you're going almost to the other extreme. And I don't want that either. I think a little hype is fine. I just think it shouldn't be all hype. The Dice Tower review for Oriflamme. It's coming. It's on our shelf to review. So it's not there won't be one. It just there hasn't been one yet. That's all. Do you also back on GameFound? Sure, I back on GameFound. Sorry, when I say Kickstarter, I also mean GameFound, which GameFound probably does not appreciate. What was in that corn dish pictured in the photos from Thanksgiving? Well, so I fried up some sausage. I did a 75% sweet Italian and 25% spicy Italian because I didn't want it to be all spicy. So I mixed it together with a little bit of spices. Cooked that first, chopped it up. Then we chopped up some shallots, some orange and red pepper. I didn't use yellow pepper because I don't like them when the pepper and the corn are the same color. I find that confusing for those eating it. Like if you don't like peppers, you can pick them out. I put that together in some blood orange olive oil, tossed that and cooked that a little bit, and then I cooked the corn, frozen corn, because that's the kind of corn I like, and I cooked that in straight butter, and then threw everything and mixed it around. Added a little bit of Happy Mouth and a little bit of garlic. Did I put any crushed garlic in that one? I don't think I did, but a little bit of garlic, salt, some pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of ground pepper, and boom. That's what I did. I actually spent more time on the corn than almost any other dish, but that's how it works sometimes. When you back Kickstarter, would you rather have more stuff for the game or better component quality for the game? Definitely better component quality of the game. What do you think about Paul Rudd being voted sexiest man of the year? I think Mike DeLisio was robbed, but also, who cares? Does anyone care about that? I mean, I guess Paul Rudd does. That probably feels pretty good. I don't know that I would like it if my spouse was voted for that. You'd be like, oh, who are those voters again? I don't know. I have no interest in anything that says someone is the nicest looking person, like that person has control over that. I've always found that to be dumb. I don't play with any of the mods for Civilization unless it adds to the main game. Like with Civilization, I've added some mods that add extra improvements that you can build in cities and stuff. I like doing that sort of thing. But I don't like the different scenarios because I just like basic Civilization. Are most of the computers at Dice Tower or home Macs? I don't know. What people do at their home is, there's probably a mix. But for the Dice Tower, we use Macs for consistency's sake. We can, with iPhones and with the Macs, we can transfer stuff back and forth and use the same files. We don't have to ever worry about going back from one to the other. Have you ever decided to not ever mention the game again and burn it because it infuriated that it existed? No. But I'll tell you what. So we were talking about top 10s of the year. And every year I'm like, oh, what should I do? My top 10 disappointments of the year? No. Not because I can't think of that, because I can easily do a top 10 disappointments of the year. I just don't see what good that does. I mean, we do an occasional top 10 games I hate list. But for the most part, I don't want to then, the people whose games are reviewed are already not thrilled and unhappy with the reviews. I feel like I review more games than ever before now, especially when you include my 7 or 8, short reviews together. But there's a lot of negative ones in there, right? Well, why would I then pile back upon it? I already did the review. I said I didn't like the game. I said I thought the game was bad. Putting it on a list at the end of the year just makes it worse for that person. I believe Tom is talking about hype from content creators. I'm not talking about just content creators, although that's definitely the case. Just users in general. You look at the hot games on Board Game Geek at any given point in time, and they're usually games that are coming out in the future. I'm old enough, Mike says, to remember no one even paid attention to new games coming out. You got to be really old then, because I'm 45 and I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember people not paying attention to when new games came out. Who's the biggest anime fan in the building? Violet. She's in here, so it's definitely Violet. Violet, then Ruby. But I know that you don't care about my kids, so then we'll go to Roy. I would never make all the players read the rules to a game. That seems like some people just don't like reading rules. Are you going to watch the live-action Cowboy Bebop adaptation on Netflix? I've seen the first episode. Thoughts on the haters? I don't care if people hated something. It's hard. I mean, I don't know when you adapt something, it's really hard. Like, I mean, I'm going through the same thing with Wheel of Time, right? Where I know the source material really well, to the point where a character showed up in episode 4, and I was like, what? Who is this character? They're either at it for the TV show or they're going to die. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, it was a character who's barely in the books or they were talked about and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. But to the point where someone shows up and I'll be like, that's who that person is. And I'm explaining to my wife. But it's not going to ever be what you imagine it to be in your head. So, of course, people aren't going to be happy. I don't know if I call them haters, though. You can dislike something without... Oh man, I just lost the microphone.